Hello. The definition of insanity applies to obtaining success. The definition states, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Many of us dream of success, but year after year, we do the same things over and over. Time passes on, and then we wonder why we have not found or obtained success. We feel frustrated, defeated, bummed out in general about ourselves. Then the self-doubt kicks in. As time passes, we muster up some strength to try again. But this time, we have less motivation, and the same failed result ends with another loss with even more self-doubt. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be this way. You have to change what you're doing. Specifically, you have to get with a proven mentor and a system that is actually obtaining the type of success you want. The mentor must be aligned with your purpose. For example, don't follow a drug dealer just because he's making tons of money. If, for instance, you want to help people and be ethical, follow someone who has the type of family you want, the lifestyle success you want, similar purpose, someone who is actually walking their talk. Likewise, there must be a system that is duplicatable and a product that is desirable. With systems and a great product, anyone who does the system should then reach success. With a good system, you do not have to be a natural or a gifted person. You just need to do and follow the system. Just do it. Got it? Good. This leads me to the main point. To become successful in today's cluttered and fast-paced marketplace, you must work smarter, not just harder. Notice I said just harder, because I don't want you to think that you don't have to work hard. You do. All successful people pay their dues and work hard. That being said, if you want to be super successful, you also need to work smarter. As an example of what this means, think of this analogy. A logger has a job opening and he's interviewing two potential woodcutters. One is very strong looking, he's real buff, big muscles, but maybe not so blessed in the brain department. The other is not so buff, but has a certain smartness about him. The logger tells each, you each have 8 hours to cut as much wood as you can. The one who cuts the most will get the job. The buff guy thinks to himself, this contest is already over. I'll blow that skinny guy away. I will outwork the heck out of him. Both start chopping away. They're in a position to see each other that's working, but can't actually see the amount of wood being cut. As expected, the buff guy is off to the races. He is chopping hard. Wood chips are flying everywhere. The other guy is also working hard, but not at the pace of the buff guy. Then after about an hour, the second guy stops cutting and sits down for about 10 to 15 minutes. The buff guy thinks, this is great. I'm surely not going to take any breaks, and I'll get so far ahead that the other guy cannot catch up. This job is mine. The less buff guy gets started up again, and then at the top of the hour again takes a 10 to 15 minute break. Buff guy thinks, I've got this in the bag. This continues for the entire day. Every hour, a 10 to 15 minute break, while Buff just keeps powering on with no breaks. The 8-hour whistle blows, and it's time to check for results. Buff guy thinks, I've completely outworked the other guy. I've got this job for sure. However, when the count comes, the less buff guy, the guy who took a break every hour on the hour, cut Buff by over 50%. Buff says, how can this be? I'm stronger. I worked harder. Something's wrong here. And there was. The less buff guy said, you may have worked harder, and I too worked hard. However, I also worked smarter. You know, when I took those breaks every hour, once I got to rest and rebuild my energy, but more importantly, I sharpened my blade. With that sharpened blade and regained strength, I easily outcut your dull blade, and that's how I won. So the moral of the story is, it doesn't always matter how hard you work. Yes, you have to work hard. As I mentioned, that is a given. But more importantly, you must work smarter. That is how you gain an advantage. Work smarter than the other guys. How does this translate to you and real balance? How do you sharpen your blade, so to speak? To start with, spend time getting educated. Watch the videos, get on the conference calls, read the recommended books. That way, when you're discussing the product or plan, you know what you are talking about. You come across as confident. You are not in confusion. You will be perceived as an opinion leader. Also, get with your mentor or upline and discuss the problems you are running into. Create solutions together. Drill your pitch. Role play. Go back at it and then come back and do the probing again. Come up with new improved solutions. Constantly work to improve. If you continue to sharpen your blade, work with your mentor, and use the systems, success will be yours. It really is that simple. And always, to an elevated lifestyle. Thank you.
She is the most fascinating woman in the world. In her presence, wild animals display intelligent talents. Elvis impersonators impersonate her. The king of the jungle bows at her feet.
I always drink water, and when I do, I fancy real water.
Stay hydrated, my friends.